I am super excited because it is CrossFit Games week. I leave in a little under 48 hours, and I am so excited because pretty much the entire WOD Prep team is flying into Madison, Wisconsin. And obviously, I get to hang out with you yet again. How's your week?
They're already on their way, right? Your whole team's already left, or most of them?
I think most, yeah, a lot of them have already left. Some of them are already there. I just wasn't able to swing getting there this early, and I think we actually had some flight issues and hotel issues. But yeah, I'm gonna be there. That's what matters. I'll be there by Wednesday evening.
Dude, that's why I'm glad I'm driving. I was just talking to somebody about all the flight issues I've already seen from people getting stranded in Chicago and wherever their connections are. It's like I want nothing to do with flight right now. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and honestly, if it wasn't such a long drive, I might try to consider it. Actually, there's a few people I know here from Colorado that are driving. So heck, maybe I'll just wing it on tomorrow or Wednesday or something like that.
What time's your flight?
That's the problem. I think my flight is in the afternoon. Oh, never mind. It's at 11. So we have a little bit of time before the chaos ensues.
Oh, there you
So
go.
11 a.m. It should hopefully be okay. But I've been in the only way I've been able to make flying work is flying at like 5 in the morning. And then there's no delays. It always, it happens. But anytime I fly in the afternoon lately, it's just been a disaster.
Right. There you go. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Well, I'm leaving early in the morning. I'm already packed. I've got everything together. It's all in my car. All I got to do is go get to bed and get up early and roll into Madison. I'm so excited.
Nice. How long of a drive is it?
It's like 8 hours. It's not bad.
Not too bad. Not
Yeah.
too bad. I'm starting to see people already posting stuff. I know we have a few masters athletes competing, two specifically that are one-on-one athletes with WOD Prep, and I'm super excited to watch them compete because I think they're going to make a really strong showing.
Yeah. What divisions are they in?
Oh man, I should know this. So I think we have 60 to 64 women's and 65 plus women's.
All right.
We have Terry Carey and Patricia McGill. Those are, yeah, it's been so cool to watch them develop because they started with WOD Prep, obviously, by watching YouTube videos, buying a couple of our courses, and then kind of gradually fell into one-on-one coaching. And they both have competed the games multiple times, so it's going to be fun to watch them.
When someone signs up with you to do one-on-one coaching and they make the games, do you buy them their first bottle of Enduroball? Is that the rule? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, so we actually have like a secret underground steroid facility, and we just let them pick anything. We say, hey, come in, have anything you want.
So listen, you can get Enduroball or testosterone. You can't have both though. Just one. Just one. You're not paying enough for both. So it's extra if you want the 2-for-1 special.
That is true. We do limit them. We do one big dose, and then just try to keep them on one. Yeah, it's been crazy all the people popping. I know that's kind of outside of the scope of we talk about here. Focusing on masters division stuff and scaled athletes trying to learn how to go to RX. But even myself, who doesn't pay attention to the CrossFit, the main CrossFit games, it's kind of been crazy to see all the steroids being popped. I wonder why this year is different.
I don't think it's significantly different. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I guess let's wait and see how many get popped after the games. I was cynically joking with someone last night that the Masters athletes don't get popped until the games, and every year there's like 2 or 3 they on the podium get popped, and it's always at the Masters division, it's almost always men and it's always testosterone. Occasionally, there were a couple women that got hit last year with it, but it's just like that's like a pretty normal supplement for men over 50. So
It
I've
is.
heard.
It is. I know a lot of people who take it. I haven't dabbled there yet. But at some point in the future, like if my testosterone does dip a bunch, I might, because it does make you feel really, really good and it helps your body function a little bit better. I'm no doctor, but a lot of the people I've talked to that actually have it diagnosed, supplement or have a diagnosed testosterone deficiency, and they take it, they're like, yeah, you feel 15 years younger. That sounds nice to me, but I don't need to feel 15 years younger. That would make me like, I don't know, that would make me like 20.
Well, I can very sadly say that no one has ever accused me of doping. ever. Ever. And I'm broken up over it. I'm just clearly not fit enough for anyone to think that I could only achieve this through cheating. Like, oh,
Yeah.
he's definitely not cheating. There's
Yeah.
no chance.
And there's, it's so funny because there's obviously this highlight of like all these people popping, but I would venture to say the overwhelming majority of people who do CrossFit are not on steroids of any sort. Actually, I see Megan's comment from Facebook is about like, oh, should I feel proud to do RX stuff and say I'm steroid free? Yes, but there are a lot of people like you. But I think it's great to have a healthy lifestyle. Eating decent food, training really hard. Like myself, I'm completely steroid free, and I can RX pretty much all the movements. And just today, I got back from like a 25-mile rucking expedition weekend where I was carrying a 55-pound backpack and honestly felt pretty solid throughout it. No extra supplementation needed. So I'm excited that CrossFit is keeping me in shape to do the things outside of the gym, which I think is really important.
Well, I went and played new sports, not new sports, but I played sports other than CrossFit over the weekend and blew my elbow out. So that's pretty exciting. That's good
What
stuff.
what does blowing your elbow out mean? What happened?
Meaning I can't use my right arm. Kinda.
So you're saying our head-to-head workout is going to go really, really well on
Yeah,
Thursday.
it's getting better. I have this huge knot right on the inside of my elbow. Funny enough, so I was golfing, and I golf once a year. Once a year, that's it. And I went on Wednesday. It was a work outing. Well, I got invited to a second outing on Saturday with a CrossFit gym. And so in between that, on Friday, I did a pretty hard workout that was very, arm and joint intensive. It was heavy devil's presses and toes to bar. And we had heavy snatches beforehand, so I'm putting a lot of work on that arm after already playing some golf. And I go out on Saturday morning. I was warming up, for God's sakes, and I heard it on the warm up tee. Like,
Oh,
I
dang.
don't know what I did, just like an awkward swing, I guess. It was just ready to go. It just hurt like hell. And so I have like, ironically, a golf ball size knot like right on the inside of my elbow.
Interesting.
And I was golfing with my doctor. And before anybody, blows me up over the advice he's giving me, he's a CrossFitter, and he works with Wild Health, which is also known as CrossFit Precision Care.
Yeah, he was on the podcast. I forget which episode. And I was actually
Tom.
texting him pictures of the elk that I found earlier today. So
yeah, he said he's going to come to the WOD Prep party. But
excellent.
Yeah, Tom's a good dude. And so I was golfing with him. And so I could basically only putt all day. He's bitching at me every time I pick up a golf club. He's like, quit swinging, And so by the end, I finally started taking his advice. I messaged him this morning. I'm like, hey, it still hurts. Should I be concerned? He's like, look, just don't do any mobility. Just rest it. And I'm like, hey, doctor's orders, no mobility, done. I can follow that advice. And then by late afternoon, it started to feel a little better. I can stretch my arm all the way out now, but with pain, and it hurts to touch. So I feel like I've got some sort of micro tear in there or something. And it's just swollen. So I'm hopeful it'll be better in a couple of days. Until then, my mobility is going to be these high noon vodka sodas. I think that's going to fix it. I'll just hold it on my arm, get the swelling down.
12-ounce curls.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's interesting. So I actually want to point something out. And again, I'm not the physical therapist, but as a teaser, it does look like Dr. CJ DePalma, the WOD Prep head coach / physical therapist, is on board to take my seat during the month of September while I'm living in the woods, chasing animals around. So I hope you'll be able to answer it a little bit more. But what I find interesting is you said you play golf like once a year. And then this happened to be the week where you played it twice.
Yep.
And I find that a lot of people, like people who pick up kind of like the quote unquote naggy injuries in CrossFit, a lot of them, I think, are from going from 0 to 100, right? Like a lot of people, I hurt myself doing kipping. And it's like, have you ever kipped before in your entire life? No. How many kipping pull-ups did you do in that workout? Oh, well, I just did them all. So it was like 80. And it's like, yeah, no wonder. If you have no graded exposure to something, like let's say I didn't just walk a bunch. Let me try to find an example. Yeah. If I hopped on hopped into a marathon and did a 26-mile road run tomorrow, chances are I would get maybe some overuse injuries, some nagging injuries because I haven't been training road running for that level of volume.
Right.
Right. So it's like we in everything we do, every sport, whether it's golf or whether it's CrossFit, we need to make sure that, especially as we like enter into it, we need to have that graded exposure. You don't want to just go from 0 to 100 in an unfamiliar movement. And that golf swing, I imagine, is something that you haven't really done in anything else other than golf. And now, here you are with a little bit of pain.
Well, it probably doesn't help that it's a pretty ugly golf swing.
That too.
But that aside, it's not my first injury. And it's the first one I've had in a long time, though. I haven't had a legit, like, where I had to stop and go, oh shit, I think I'm actually hurt. Like, I get aches and pains like everybody else, but this is the first time like it actually impacted sleep because it was hurting, like I'm having to take some Advil for it and some other thing, and do some other stuff. And it's the first moment in a long time I was like, all right, I got to really think about what's next.
Right.
And, and so, I try to think of it in the terms of advice I give people. And I took my own advice this morning. Like I did a workout here at home. Funny enough, like I woke up and I'm like, all right, well, if Crooked River has a workout I can do, I'll go in and scale it. I'll just go do their workout. I'll take my own advice and I'll go scale their workout. And you can't even make this shit up. Their workout was bench press and rope climbs. I'm like,
well,
it's almost
that's a bail workout, not a scale workout.
Yeah. So I bailed it and I stayed home and I did rounds of 2 minutes on the C2 bike, dumbbell step ups. So dumbbell on my shoulder and on my left shoulder. So I didn't have to use my right arm, and GHDs, all movements I could do without having to use my arm, so the advice I was trying to give myself was, well, don't do nothing. Go do something, go run, go bike, go do something you can do and give it time to heal. And that's really all I'm trying to do now. Just get the swelling down and see where I am from there.
I think CJ and I actually have a video about this somewhere floating around on YouTube. But what's so interesting is complete rest versus modified rest when it comes to injury and rehab. Is like, so like if I like really hurt my right shoulder and I just don't do anything to any part of my body for a really long time and I just sit around, the rehabilitation process is normally a lot longer compared to if I still don't really use my right arm, but I go do other stuff, with my legs and with my left arm. And like the body loves movement. So I think that's amazing that you made sure that you didn't expose your elbow to more pain, but you were able to get into the gym and do something. And I think that's something that all of our listeners really should keep in mind. It's one thing to be like banged up from a recovery standpoint. Like today, coming back from this big trip I just did, like I'm resting tomorrow. Like my body is beat to a pulp.
Right.
The whole thing, right, is beat. But if I had just overworked one area of my body, rather than taking a complete rest day, sometimes you can modify and expose your body, expose the parts of your bodies that have not been fatigued at all to something. And a lot of times you're going to feel a lot better on the back end of that.
Yeah. My thought is like, I don't know. I didn't want to just sit around. I knew I'm resting tomorrow because I'm driving, which is not really a rest, but it's also not a real workout either. It's just a pain, Yeah. And then our week's going to be real kind of helter skelter. Like you and I have that workout we have to do together where I'm going to beat you. And, so I got a plan for that. And then we've got, I wanted to get in a couple other days. So I need it to heal between now and then if I'm going to get any actual workouts in. But I've also kind of resolved myself to thinking, all right, well, worst case scenario, I'm going to start tracking my damn steps at the CrossFit games.
Yeah.
And push them up. Like, I mean, you already know you're going to get 15,000 steps walking around.
You're going to get a lot of steps in at the games.
So, like I'm trying not to be too depressed about it. It'll be fine in a few days, but still.
Yeah.
I understand. It came back to me very quickly how easy it is to get depressed or let down or sad when you have some sort of injury. And I think the way to overcome that is to have a plan. and to know
Yeah.
what's next. And when you just like kind of go into the day and go, well, I'll see how it feels tomorrow, and then I'll make a plan. Don't do that. Like make a plan in advance. If it's better, you can change your plan. But if it's not better, stick to your plan and you'll feel better about what you're doing. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's
Speaking
all.
of plans, I know we brainstormed a couple of things about what to talk about tonight. Let's talk a little bit about the CrossFit Games because this is a unique experience or a unique opportunity where we can actually meet some of the people listening to Scale and Bale, or for those tuning in live on the WOD Prep YouTube channel or WOD Prep Facebook or Scale and Bale YouTube channel, wherever you're tuning in
Right.
from. We can actually meet people face to face. What do we have lined up this week? I think there's a head-to-head workout that now I feel really good about.
First of all, it's a really short workout, Ben. It's so short, I actually would have a chance. That's
Oh
the thing.
no.
Well, so she messaged, she's like, it's 9 sandbag thrusters, 9 burpees over the sandbag, 9 air squats. I'm like, all right, well, for how long? Is it like a 9-minute AMRAP? She's like, no, that's the whole workout. I'm like, shit, I might actually win
Wait,
in a
now
20.
that's it? There's 27 total reps?
I know. I think in a 27 rep workout, we actually might be competitive.
I
Here's
don't
my,
know. With the length of your femurs,
I,
John, I think my thrusters will just outpace yours.
See, that's what I was going to say, though, is that you've got those little T-Rex arms and those short, little stubby legs. And
Yeah,
so you're going to be way fast and you're closer to the ground. So you have a
for the
huge advantage.
burpees, huge advantage.
Huge advantage.
If I don't double your time, I would say it was a fail. Or if I don't cut your time in half, I mean, I'd say that you win.
This will be the first. I'm going to pretend it's Fran and say it's the first workout I've ever done under 2 minutes. It's going to be great.
I can't wait to see you with one arm doing those thrusters, and I get to use two. I mean, this is going to be great.
Well, this is like on Thursday, so I'm hopeful my arm will be better by then. We'll
Okay.
see. And I don't
And
know how heavy the sandbag is. I have no
in
idea.
case anybody wants to come by and watch, what are the details? I think I actually have it here. It's
It's
at the Fire booth. So there's a
yeah.
booth for Forging Youth Resilience, FYR, if you're looking for their logo, and it'll obviously be like in the vendor village, I assume, and it's at 2 p.m. on Thursday. Is that correct?
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep. Yeah, and
Sweet.
it's great charity. So we're doing that. When's the WOD Prep party? With the WOD Prep party.
Yeah. So actually, I'm going to try to find the website. We have the WOD Prep party. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find the URL WOD Prep party live. I think. Let's find out if that's it. Nope, it's not it. So I'm just going to wing it. So the WOD Prep party is on Friday night. There's an RSVP link, so it will definitely be. Let's see, we can maybe put it in the show notes, or if you go to my Instagram, I'm going to be posting all about it. Or if you're on the WOD Prep email list, you're going to get an email about it at least 3 times this week. But it's Friday night at 8 p.m. downtown Madison. I forget exactly what bar it's at, but we've had a whole place blocked off. We actually are going to have like a photo booth this time. So that'll be really cool because in years past, the photos have just been horrendous. But we actually have a photo booth this time. And then if you show up and you're the first, I forget how many people, you're going to get at least one drink coupon. I'll probably have some food available. It'll be a great time. John will be there, so we'll have someone famous there. And then I can take pictures of you and John when you show up.
I think it's going to be fun. And then, we'll be hanging out. So people will find us. You guys want to find us, just DM us. We're easy to track down. I'll be wearing my Meme Lord shirt. That's pretty exciting.
Nice.
I have I shown you a photo?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, so here's what I did. I wonder if I can throw it up on the screen. I got to see if I can figure this. You know what? I'll just hold my camera up. I'll just hold my camera up. I reached out to Barbell Voodoo and I'm like, hey, Noble has come out with these camo shirts, and you put the athlete's name across the bottom, and it has their affiliate and the name of the affiliate. I'm like, can you do me a shirt that looks just like it, but I want to say Meme Lord because I want to wear it around.
Nice.
And so he made me this. Can you see that?
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's perfect. I love it. Also, I have a Noble camo shirt that they gave me when I worked at the Forging Youth Resilience summer camp. I came and volunteered and did a double under seminar. I talked about it a couple episodes ago. And Noble showed up, man. I mean, they gave them, I think all the kids got I got 3 pairs of shoes. The kids got 4 pairs of shoes, shirts, stuff like that. And I gotta admit, the shirt is pretty fire. Like I really like the shirt. Shoes, I'm not quite there yet, but I appreciate their effort. But man, that the shirt, I was like, ooh, if it just the logo's a bit big.
You
But
don't
man,
love the no bull shoes?
no, I for whatever reason, I just I wear them when I play pickleball because pickleball just destroys shoes instantly. So I can get a couple weeks out of them, and then they're toast. But yeah, it's just too tough for me.
I
Just
really like the canvas shoe. I'm bringing 2 pairs of no bulls on this trip. I really like the canvas pair and then a pair of high tops that I haven't worn very often, but
high toes hops. They look good. They look real good.
yeah, those
Which
would
is
be my going out shoes.
which is what matters, right?
Yeah,
That's what matters is
they don't need
looking
to be
good.
comfortable as long as they look good.
Yeah,
Who cares? Have you seen any of the workouts that they've posted so far?
I have not, but I'm in a group chat. I literally just got back into service like 2 hours ago, so I'm still catching up on messages. But I noticed that there are a lot of chatter happening. Like people love the workouts or something like that.
Yeah, so the event number 1, we can talk about maybe how to scale this if we're gonna scale and bail. I really like this one. 4 time, 75 toes to bar, 5-mile bike ride, 75 chest to bar, 5-mile bike ride.
Ooh,
And it looks like it's a trek bike.
is it on grass? You think?
That I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's on grass or not. The photo's in grass, but I have no idea. Let's see. It says bike to work will traverse multiple terrains as athletes race for 100 points. So yeah, probably. Looks like mountain bikes. So I'm going to make an educated guess that it's grass and dirt and lots of other stuff. That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
What would you if you're going to do this? I know it's a very broad question, but for those of us that are average people and not games athlete, what would be your suggestion to scale?
Can you read it to me one more time? Let me think
Yep.
about it because obviously, I mean, you can scale down the distance of the bike, but give me a run through one more time.
Yeah. 75 toes to bar, 5-mile bike, 75 chest to bar, 5-mile bike.
Yeah, so I mean, that's really interesting that they're mixing gymnastics with a single modality thing like a bike, especially like a mountain bike, because those suckers are freaking slow if they're
Yep.
riding on grass. It's definitely a leg burner. Um, but for a workout like that, that's a clear let's scale the reps. Like you could do that workout and simulate it, no problem. Just 75 toes to bar and 75 chest to bar is quite a bit for probably the average listener. So
It's quite a bit for the above average listener. That's a
yeah,
lot of toes.
it's a lot for everyone, especially because it's in a row, right? It's not like we're
Yeah.
partitioning it. So I would suggest scaling that down. I mean, you could do a couple mile bike ride, 25 toes to bar, couple mile bike ride, 25 chest to bar. Or I probably messed up the order. But that's one way you could scale it down is just scaling the reps. And then obviously, like I mentioned before, you can scale reps and you can scale ROM being range of motion or like scaling the movement down. So you want to try that workout and you can't quite do toes to bar yet. Number one, you should buy my toes to bar course. And then number two, in the meantime, while you're learning how to do the toes to bar through my course, Toes to Bar Transformed, you can do something like a knee tuck, like a kipping knee tuck or a kipping leg lift. And then for the chest to bar, infinitely scalable, right? So we can scale it down to just simple chin over the bar pull-ups, or we can scale it down to kip swings, or we could do, way less strict pull-ups or some sort of band. There's a lot of different options there. But I would start by keeping the full range of motion. So keep the toes to bar, keep the pull-ups, keep the bike, and then just tone down the volume a little bit. So narrow, make the reps smaller and the distance smaller.
I always try to look at it and go, all right, what's the stimulus? And I don't know Adrian who programmed this at all. Or I do, but I don't, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to make an educated guess that the stimulus is these 2 gymnastics movements for a games athlete. It's enough reps that it would be impossible to go unbroken.
Correct.
Or damn near impossible. I mean, maybe somebody could, but
no one will do that unbroken.
Yeah, no one will. I'm just saying they could, but no one would. But they should be able to continually work and work at a fast pace. So I think the stimulus for the average athlete like us is to figure out if you're going to do toes to bar and you can actually do toes to bar, what's your max rep before you have to quit continually working. Meaning, like for me, for toes to bar, I could probably get to 45 or 50 before I'd be down into singles.
Mhm.
And if you're in singles, you're done
Mm.
because you're no
In,
longer
in this workout, yes.
for this workout, you're no longer holding the stimulus. And same way for chest to bar, like how many you can do until you're no longer kind of working at that pace that is expected. So
Yeah.
I would think first about reps. Should you scale the reps? And if you're not proficient at the movement, should you be doing knee raises, knee tucks, normal pull-ups with a band, ring rows? There's like so many different things you can do than chest to bar. And then that bike's probably just a distance problem for most people. It would be for me. Like 10 miles a bike, that's a long workout, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what the course looks like. Um, I imagine it's going to be pretty flat. I mean, after all, we are in Madison, Wisconsin, so the 5 miles won't be. It's still going to be pretty sprinty. Um, yeah, it's going to be a great workout. I love that they're mixing in like a CrossFit movement with the single. Normally, we just see like just a pure bike or a pure swim, pure run, but like I like that they're throwing some CrossFit movements in early. I think that's really cool.
So here's a fun one. So then the second workout, individual event 2A, 2B, from 0 to 2 minutes, you run 400 meters. They're calling it a shuttle run. I've never done a 400-meter shuttle run, but I'm guessing they're going to go out 200 meters and come back.
Mm-hmm.
Run 400 meters, and then you do max jerks. So within that 2-minute time frame, you got to run and you'll do max jerks. So I'm going to
Ooh,
make an educated guess that most of these there's no one on that field, no one that's going to do faster than probably a minute 12, minute 15. No one.
yeah.
It'd be real close. Like nobody's going to do that. Which means they'll have 45 seconds to do jerks, rest 1 minute. From 3 to 6 minutes, run 600 meters, max jerks.
Same time period, 2 minutes.
3 minutes.
Oh
So
man.
3 to 6 minutes. So they get a 3 minute, they got to run a 600 meter. So when you think about it, it's kind of the same stimulus. They're going to get about 45 seconds
Mm.
to do jerks. And then they rest 2 minutes. So just enough time to realize this really sucks. And then from 8 to 12 minutes, so a 4-minute time frame, run 800 meters, max jerks.
Ooh, I
So
like
again,
that. That's a
yeah.
great workout. I really think that's cool.
Well, yeah, until I tell you that the weight is 200 pounds for the women, 300 pounds for the men.
What? Oh my god.
So you basically have, I'm estimating.
I was expecting it to be like 185.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm estimating that the average games athlete, the average runner, like there are a few of those guys, like Guy, for instance, can run these really fast. He's a great runner, but like,
Right, he's gonna smash this workout because his jerk is also heavier than I think everyone in the field.
yeah, this one's like way in his wheelhouse. But like the average athlete out there is going to run a 400 meter in about a minute 10, minute 10 to a minute 15. That's going to be the average. So they're going to have 45 seconds, which means when they're running 600 meters and 800 meters, they're still going to have 45 seconds to do as many jerks as they can at either 200 pounds or 300 pounds.
Did I hear correctly that they're doing this off of blocks?
I don't know. Let me see.
I think someone that might have been a master's workout, but I think someone on my team, as I was catching up on messages, mentioned that the jerks were being taken from blocks, which I think is really cool. Wow, that's going to be fascinating. I mean, like, there's going to be people who are push jerking that, no problem, in the men's field. Will if it's going from blocks, will we see a lot of people cycling them, or will we see people like jerk, drop, reset? I mean, whew, that's a big question mark because
it's complete as many shoulder to
territory.
overheads as possible. So,
Right.
so I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's uncharted territory. Reps at 300 or reps at 200 for the women on a jerk. That's wow. That's gonna be awesome.
I mean, it looks like the score. I'm trying to figure out how the scoring is done. Shuttle to overhead will be scored as 2 separate 100-point events. Shuttle to overhead A will be the athlete's total time to complete the 3 runs. So you kind of, so it's not,
Oh,
looks like you really have to make a choice here. Do you want to run hard as hell and collect your 100 points and and not be able to do a lot of jerks, or
wow.
would you balance it out, or do you just get over
So
there and do as
here's,
many jerks as you can? I don't know.
yeah, I think in this workout you identify where you're let's, I bet you there's some people in the field that are like, oh my gosh, like I'm not gonna be able to jerk that more than like 1 or 2 times. Like they know that they're not gonna be able to do that many. Um, so in that case, their only salvaging thing, because they can't cycle that weight, is to really, really push the run in
Right.
hopes to buy points on the run. Um, Man, that's gonna be fun. That's a totally new twist, because for if it was just the jerk weight, then it's a pure strength workout where it's like you can, like for Guy, he could, kind of run at 85% and then just be able to rep that barbell no problem. However, now you can't run at 85% because you have some people who aren't gonna do well on the barbell just going absolute max effort and smashing your run score. I can't wait to watch that. When does that happen?
That's the second event. So I'm trying to find the date. It's
Oh
probably
no,
day
will I be
one.
there in time?
Here's what I would, if I were coaching this, and then we'll talk about how to scale it. If I were coaching it, it would depend a little on the athlete, but for most of them, I'd go run hard
Mhm.
and let the jerks figure themselves out. And the reason being is the odds of you having a lot of tie scores in the jerks are pretty high, because you're going to have a very limited amount of time, regardless of how fast everybody can run. But you very likely will not have as much of a tie on the running portion, because you have a much bigger window to have separation.
Right.
And a single second could be the difference between second and third, or third and fourth, and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
So I would focus on the run if I were coaching it, because there's
Mhm.
no chance I'll ever do this in person.
Yeah.
Um,
From a scaling perspective, honestly, we go back to the same thing: scale reps, then scale ROM. So the way I would scale, let's say the ROM here, again, range of motion is it's kind of, it's not really range of motion, but I would keep the time domain probably, but I would adjust the run accordingly. So
yeah,
for a lot of listeners, that 2 minute window to do a 400 and get some jerks in, you might like hardly have any time to do any jerks. So I would maybe make it, for a normal human being, it could be a 200-meter run or a
right,
300-meter run and into a heavy jerk. And I would just caution everyone, like if we're going, like obviously this is supposed to be a heavy jerk. I would venture to say, let me just do a quick calculation here. Um, I would venture to say that this is about 85% of the perceived 1 rep max for a lot of people.
right,
I'm judging that based on about 350 pounds. So the 300 pounds is 85% of 350 pounds. I'd say roughly if you take about 85% of your 1 rep max jerk and then use that as your weight, that's still really heavy. So be careful if your form's not too dialed in and you're sloppy and you're dropping the barbell all over the place, and you don't have jerks, so you're gonna have to, or you don't have jerk blocks, so you have to re-rack every weight. I would maybe bump down to maybe 70% and then cycle some jerks with that. But yeah, shorten the distance of the run, keep the time domain the same, and then play around with your percentage. No more than 85%
yep,
of your 1 rep max jerk. I would probably go a lot lighter, because these guys, 85%, and girls, the 85% of their 1 rep max, they're going to make it look beautiful. It's going to be perfect.
right.
But for us normal human beings, 85%, it still doesn't necessarily look that good. So just keep that in mind.
If I were coaching this, for anyone that happens to be a coach listening, my suggestion would be, instead of running, turn it into like an echo bike or an assault bike, and do 1 minute bike, 1 minute jerks, rest 1 minute, 2 minute bike, 1 minute jerks, rest two
Oh, I like
minutes,
that.
3 minute bike, 1 minute jerk. Because that's the stimulus when you look at
Yeah,
it. Like, they're expecting these athletes to get 45 seconds to probably a minute 15 worth of jerk time in.
right. I
Just,
think I think the one thing though here is like you could, in that particular instance, you could um you could slow down your pace on the bike, and it still is a minute long. But I guess it would work if you're trying to go for max calories. Yeah, I like it. I think it's a
Yeah.
good version.
Hey, I'm throwing your party sign up on the screen here.
Hey,
CrossFit dash party dash sign up
yeah.
backslash. So you
Okay,
got to
it's on
what
the
you,
screen.
yeah.
And then, yeah, wadprep.com, CrossFit dash party dash sign dash up. So CrossFit party sign up with dashes in between.
I think these workouts look good though. For the first two, they're different. Um, that running jerk one will be fun to watch. Like these are good viewer workouts as long as they have good camera angles because you can't follow them around on the bike.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think it'll be fun, and I'm kind of interested to do some of these.
Yeah, this will be a blast. That combined with the fact that, I mean, it's just such an awesome energy being there. I know, like, just you and I just walking around, going to all the different booths, hitting workouts at the fire booth. I I I really really love meeting people in the community because I get a lot of, I mean, we both get a lot of comments about, hey, I've used your content to, either laugh more in your case, or make fun of people in your case, uh or like, hey, use your content to do my first pull-ups. Thank you so much. So if you are at the CrossFit Games, please don't be shy. Like, even if you think it's John Woolley, even if you think it's the meme lord, go say hi. Give him a high five. And if it's not, if you rub his head and it turns out not to be the meme lord, then it's just some other bald guy that's, strikingly handsome. So I'm sure he'll appreciate it.
Well, there will be more than one bald guy with a beard there. So yeah, if you see a bald guy with a beard and glasses, you go rub his head, and it turns out to be Justin Kotler. That's the head coach of Underdogs Athletics. That's not me. We
He
just
needs
look.
a
We
he
just look.
needs a head rub because Danielle left.
Yeah, we look a lot alike. But make sure you say to him, "Oh, I thought you were John," because he knows me, so he'll
Yeah,
he'll he'll absolutely appreciate it, to say the least.
love it.
Hey, let's talk about the mid-show sponsor, Third Z. You still taking your Third Z?
It's been a couple days because I've been in the woods. I didn't sleep that well last night. It could have been because we were on top of a mountain. It also could have been because I didn't have my third Z. But
Mm.
I assure you, I'm salivating thinking about taking it tonight.
Well, I'm telling everyone listening, go get you some Third Z, collagen protein. I take this stuff every night, and dude, I've never been sleeping better. And I honestly think it's why my elbow feels better so much quicker than I thought it would. Like I'm only on day 2, so it should still hurt. But man, there's just like I'm in the mindset now, like stay in bed. I keep telling myself, don't get up early. Stay in bed as long as you can. Get as much sleep as you can. Go back to sleep. And this stuff, like it doesn't knock me out, but it lulls me off into sleep. Like I just kind of coast into a deep sleep, and then I stay there, and it's great.
Sleep is the ultimate fitness hack. It's what all the research is showing is there's often times where sleep would be much more beneficial to most people than going to the gym and working out. So a lot of people who go and do those super early morning workouts, just because that's the only time they can work out, and they actually aren't getting enough sleep, they're totally counterproductive. But if you can get both, that's the win. So yeah, big fan of doing anything to help you sleep more and sleep with intention. I think that's what's cool about, like, supplements in general. I don't promote very many of them. Like, there's a few that I take, and Third Z is one of them. But if the supplement makes you care more about the activity, like if the pre-workout supplement makes you want to go to the gym, great. If the pre-bed supplement makes you care about your sleep routine, outstanding. So big win. And then it also helps that the active ingredients are actually scientifically backed. That helps too.
There is something to be said for that. Like I do feel like my routine now, where like I get out my glass and I make it, like my body starts going, all right, this is happening.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
so.
That's true.
I think there is some truth to that. At least I feel it. I don't have any scientifically backed data other than my own. I know how I feel when I do it.
Just vibes, man.
It's just vibes, baby. Just vibes. But I can say, like, I get hit up to take a lot of stuff. People send me stuff all the time. I've tried so many things. I don't even look at the label. So, like, here, try this. And I just pop it in my mouth. Like, anyone could roofie me. I'm
So
probably
when
going to get
John
roofied.
gets popped for steroids, he'll be like, "Oh, it must have been one of those random pills it took."
I think I've told this story before, but last year at the games, This kid, he's an entrepreneur, nicest kid, and I feel terrible because I forget his name. I had him on the show, and he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, I make this protein shake, and it's terrific, and you'll really like it." And he hands me this little bottle, and it's like this big, and it has no label on it. It's got like a little cork in it, clearly made on its own. It's like this milky liquid. And I'm like, "Oh, you made that?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I pop it open and just chug it, you know. And
Nice.
it's like no thought whatsoever what he had just given me, you
And
know. Like,
you had met him what, 8 seconds
yeah,
previously?
pretty much.
Nice.
So I'm one of those guys when somebody goes, "Oh, I got puppies in this paneled van," I probably would jump right in. But anyway, my point is I've taken, I feel like I've tried a ton of different supplements, and sleep has always been a struggle for me. And I've tried all that the stuff you shouldn't do, which is like Tylenol PM and NyQuil,
Right,
and and that stuff works if you want to be knocked out and have like a sleep hangover.
right.
Um, but that's what I'm loving about Thursday. There's like no sleep hangover. Like I wake up, I feel great, I'm refreshed, I jump up, and I'm off, hobbling about my day like the old man that I am. Um, but it's
Love it.
great. It's good stuff. So go to thirdzy.com, thirdzy.com. Our code is scales, SCALEZZZ, and you'll get 25% off. And DM us and let us know what you think of it. I'd love some feedback on it if you buy it. So, all right, on to the show. What else are we talking about, Ben? Let's get some questions. We got a lot of people in the chat, a lot of people following who has questions for us. Let's answer something. We'll get this party sign up off the board here.
Yeah, are you doing anything else exciting over the weekend? Obviously, I'm excited to actually go to the. It's no longer Fit Aid; it is the O2 Recovery Lounge. I'm excited to drink a lot of O2 this weekend because our buddy Dave is the owner.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll try
I'm
to
gonna
find him and give him talk some smack to him.
well, so I'll bring you along. I'm gonna do a guest bartending gig for him at
Oh,
one of
I'll
the
be there.
events.
I'm gonna annoy you I'll be at the bar and just pestering you.
First of all, I already told him I'm not really bartending. I'll hang out at the bar and talk to people. I'm not pouring drinks because here's my complaint with having a bartend. People want to get too fancy. They're like, "Oh, give me a Cuba Libre," and it's like really just a rum and coke. I'm like, just call it what it is. Just tell me what the ingredients are. Tell me what
I
you
want to
want in
see
it.
how good you are at shaking the
Yeah.
O2 with the alcohol that they're mixing with it. I just want to
Hey,
see what your shaker game is.
dude, I can make a killer O2 margarita.
I
Totally killer.
consider it as long as you can make it for me. You just have to be
All
my
right.
bartender once. That's all I will ask.
I got you. But
Amazing.
anyway, we're gonna hang out with Dave. He's got a couple of parties that are going on, so that'll be fun. But
Love
other
it.
than that, I honestly don't have a lot of like. I'm not podcasting. I'm gonna get a chance to hang out with Nikki some, which I haven't not seen her in forever, and it's the first time I'll get to see her baby, so that's exciting too.
Amazing.
And other than that, I mostly just want to walk around and meet people and get feedback from the two shows and see what people like and don't like and kind of help us shape the future. That's what I always get out of it. I did a lot of episodes last year and it drove me crazy.
Mm,
I didn't feel like I got as much out of it as I wanted to. You know what I mean? Like I got good content, but I didn't get to talk to people.
sure.
Like people out on like I talked to the guest. I didn't get to talk to people actually listening. And that's what I want to do this time.
Yeah,
So
and that's for everyone. So I get DMs all the time on Instagram, like, "Hey, love the show, listen to the show." And if you want to help us, the best thing that you can do is not just say, "Hey, love the show." Tell us why. Say, "Hey, love the show, especially that episode when you did X, Y, Z," or "Love the show. My favorite episodes are the Q&As," or love the show, but my goodness, it's been awful lately because of X. Like, give
right.
even if it's negative, even if you're like, "Hey, used to like the show, I hate it now because of," like, share it, because more constructive feedback, even if it's negative, helps us shape the direction of the show. And what's great is that John and I, over the coming week, we get a lot of FaceTime together. We're going to be hanging out a lot, and we're going to get to rub shoulders with people who are listeners. So please, again, don't be shy. But we'll also be able to brainstorm. We'll also be able to kind of set the intention for the next year or so of podcasting, and that's going to help steer the ship. So it's up to you to steer the ship in the right direction. If you want to keep making this an awesome, fun podcast, then it's your job to help us. So please give us feedback.
Doug Ratz is asking, what are you most excited for at the games? I'm going to enhance this question. Is there a specific athlete you're most excited to see? A specific event? Is it just the event itself? Like, what are you
Yeah.
excited for, Ben?
All right. I have three things.
Oh, here we go.
Number one, I am absolutely super duper excited for the WOD Prep party because every
Of
year
course.
it blows me away how many people show up and like random, like people I'm like, what? Like, why are you here? I didn't know you liked WOD Prep. Oh, yeah. Like we had Chandler Smith show up one year. I definitely don't expect him to show up again this year because he was cramping after having just qualified for the next day of the games. But yeah, we had a lot of really interesting people to show up. So that's the first thing. Second thing for me is this also is serving as the WOD Prep team retreat. So I'm actually going to be meeting some of my team that like I've never met in person. Like Charlie, she's flying in from the UK, right? Like we have a bunch of people coming in internationally that I've hardly ever got to see in actually real life. So that's another big one. And then number three, obviously that would be hanging out with you, but you were asking about specific athletes. Number three is I care about the WOD Prep athletes. Like I frankly don't really care about the main show. I hope it's really close. Like I kind of don't like it when it's a runaway, victory. I hope it's a final workout decides the champion kind of thing. I am so excited to watch our two Masters athletes compete. Again, Patricia McGill, Terry Carey, and then we actually have a ton of other athletes competing in the Masters division who have followed WOD Prep and used WOD Prep skill courses and WOD Prep Academy to help them with their various skills. So I'm excited to see the people who basically are bringing WOD Prep to the games
Yeah,
because they're the
very
ones
cool.
that are supporting us and they're the ones who pay the bills and pay the salaries of all these amazing people and tell their friends, and it's going to be a good time. And we're actually running like a really big sale this week to celebrate the games happening, so that's fun. But what about you, John?
I have a number of things I'm excited about. I'm excited to see some of the adaptive athletes. We did that whole
Yes,
campaign for them, raised, gosh, around 13 grand, if you can believe that.
that's awesome.
And made some really nice donations. Still kind of working out the final details with the international athletes, but I got it figured out finally, and I'm getting those guys paid, so that's exciting.
Heck yeah.
And so I'm excited about meeting some of the adaptive athletes. There's a bunch of athletes that I've developed friendships with over the years that I never get to see in person that I talk to a lot. Like Danny Spiegel's a good example. Someone, she comes on the other show all the time. She's a good friend. We're texting today back and forth, but I never see her. So like I'm kind of excited just to get 5 minutes and go, hey, how are you doing? Like see them face to
Yeah.
face. And then there's any number of relationships I've built over the years where I'll give you an example. Dave Newman, who came on our show from
Great
RX
guy.
Smart Gear, he donated, gave a fantastic donation to the adaptive campaign, and it's just like it's a chance to get to see him and hang out and talk shop and see what's important to him and find out how we can help and that sort of thing. So
Yep.
it's that part of it's really fun. And then last and definitely not least, I've mentioned it already. I just love meeting people. Like as someone who does like you that creates a lot of things, getting to talk to people and find out what's important to them is important to me, because that's really where I talked, particularly around this podcast, where you meet people that are in the same boat I am. They're masters athletes, they're scaled athletes, or they don't want to go to the games. They don't want to be competitive. They just want to feel good and be there for their kids and have longevity. And it gives me the chance to like really find out, well, what are the things that they worry about? Because like I don't worry about all the same things, and so getting that feedback is really important. So
Yep.
I all of it, and then burgers, beer, cheese curds.
Yes. Actually, and Miggy's Bakes. Miggy's Bakes. They gave me a care pack. Someone in the Madison area randomly, I don't know if they paid for it or if they were just like, hey, they went to this local bakery and they just delivered a box full of goodies at my hotel room. And the company is called Miggy's Bakes and is the best baked goods I've ever had in my entire life. Like the craziest cookie things you've ever seen. So that's actually number four for me
So,
is Miggy's Bakes. It's
all
amazing.
right, I did a podium prediction show last night, but I want to know who you're picking. Who do you
Ooh,
who do you have picked, men and women, and
I ha-
affiliate cup?
So this is not necessarily, it's a little bit aligned, but you guys heard it here maybe first. I'm not sure, and maybe I'll get in trouble, but I will never say who my source is. This is Rich Froning's last competition. I
Okay.
have that from a very trusted source,
I'll,
which is
I'll believe it when I see it.
pretty interesting. I'll just, yeah, I don't want to give anything away, but I would bet the house on it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see if you're. I've not heard that at all, so we'll
But
see
I'm
if you're
also
right.
losing my house in the divorce, so
It,
take that with
it could just be
grain of
it
salt.
could just be the stress talking. We don't know. Well, what about
Yes,
podium predictions? Who do you think? So, why don't we start with the men? Because I think everyone agrees on the women. So, what do you think
I
for?
mean I think Medeiros. I mean he proved it at the Rogue Invitational. I mean he crushed people at the Rogue
Yeah.
Invitational. So unless Medeiros makes a mistake, I don't know if I see anyone beating him because he's very well rounded. So I don't think it's going to be blowouts like Frazier, but and then obviously Tia again, like barring any injuries. But that's what's crazy is like I mean injuries happen, accidents happen. Like look at what every year a freaking wheel falls off a bike. It's why they shouldn't be using Trek.
Yeah.
But yeah, something might happen, and if the door's left open, it'll be interesting to see who rises to the top. But if not Medeiros, then Vellner, because he's just like Medeiros. He's so well rounded. That's pretty much all I know.
Yeah, I had Medeiros, Panchek, Saxon, and Pat in my 1, 2, 3 spot because they're all super consistent.
Yeah,
And bluntly, I think any that could flip in any direction you wanted it to flip. And then on the women's side, Tia is just
it won't
absolutely.
even be close.
Yeah.
It's like it's not even gonna. It'll be the biggest blowout of ever probably.
It feels I feel bad sometimes saying that. Like I feel, a little bit like I'm insulting the other athletes to say, well, you have no chance of beating Tia. But I mean, damn, she's 5 in a row and she just crushed the Torium Pro. Like
But how cool would it be if someone comes out of the woodwork, out of nowhere, and challenges? Like that would be cool to watch. So I'm very excited.
I think the athletes that could challenge her are still a year or two away.
Yeah,
They're all
and she'll be gone by then.
yeah, they're all still freshmen. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I also think on the team side, if you're right, Rich is going to win his final competition.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if he's leaving or not, but I don't think anyone's going to take that trophy away from Mayhem.
yeah.
Just not
I
going to
agree.
do it. And I say that with all due respect and love for Annie because I love me some Annie Thorsdottir.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've loved Annie for 10 years now, but
How can you not?
I know she's great. But
And everyone fell in love with her last year. Like what that snatch event, like I was just like, wow, I forgot how much I loved Annie. She's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah, but it's a team event, and they've had one season, not even a full season, really, to train together.
Mm-hmm.
Where Rich's team has been intact and training hard down at Mayhem, and Rich is a hell of a good coach. Like I don't see anybody beating him, but like you said, injuries happen and weird stuff happens out there, so
Mm-hmm.
you never know. You
Yep,
just never know. It's gonna be a fun week.
I love it. I'm super excited.
I know. I'm gonna scroll the questions here, see if we got any other questions coming in from anyone. I'm excited to watch all this. I do want to watch some of the Masters competition, mostly because I like to feel bad about myself and my lack of capabilities at this age group comparatively.
I love like people who make age excuses. And I believe me, I'm not there yet to like poo poo on that, but there's so many people I know that's like, oh, yeah, I'm 50 something and I can't do any of that. Like it's impossible for anyone that old to do. And then it's like, take a look at this 60 plus
Right.
picture of the guys and the girls, and they're like, they're like the most fit people you've ever seen. So I think they really, really serve as inspiration to what the human body is capable of, even at quote
Right.
unquote old age. They're redefining what over 50 means.
Yeah. Well, I'm not making excuses. I will straight up tell someone I don't have the dedication.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as a joke. I mean, like if you want to compete in your 50s, like, so I'll be 52 next week. Birthday coming up, by the way. So Ben, you got 6 shopping days, baby. Get on it.
Next
Um,
week, like
yeah, August
Monday.
August 8th, a week from today.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, get your shopping list together.
I probably won't even be conscious all of Monday because the last night party is where I full send it.
But I think if you want to be a competitive athlete in this age division and up, you have to forsake all other things. You have to have a
Yep.
great diet. You have to get
Yep.
incredible rest. You can't have a ton of extracurricular activities. Like your extracurricular activity has to become mobility
Right.
and,
Sleep.
ice baths and all that stuff. And I mean, look around this room alone, dude. I got too many hobbies. I'm playing guitar. I'm going fishing. I'm like, I got this damn cat to deal with. I got too much going on and I don't care to do it. So I'm not going to. So I don't think it's
Yeah.
impossible, but I'm not willing to dedicate that kind of time to do it. But God bless
And
those that do.
that's what blows my mind. And I have like even more respect. Not that I don't have any lack of respect for anyone who qualifies, but for the select few individuals out there that still qualify for the CrossFit games and hold down a non-CrossFit related job, full-time job. That's incredible. Like it's
Yeah.
outstanding. And I know it's especially in the open division, not non-age group divisions, that's becoming more and more rare, but it still exists. And I find that incredible.
Well, now that you said that, I'm just going to blame the bank. It's going to be great. It's my boss's fault that I'm not qualified for the games.
Perfect.
Damn banking.
Same. My boss is terrible.
Your boss is a dick. No doubt
It's so
about it.
funny. I get people who DM me all the time, like, Ben, when are you going to start competing in the games? And I'm just like, never, never, ever. Like, I'll do the open for fun, but that ship has sailed and I have no interest in re engaging in that world. I love the people who do, but yeah, now I'm all about scaling, bailing, and seeing what I can do on a few workouts a week.
How old are you? 32?
32 still.
32.
Yes.
I got it right. Okay, good. That's a tough division, bro. Like you talk about competing, you'd be out there with the Nick Urankars and the Dan
Yes.
Baileys and
Sam Dancer is competing this year.
Yeah.
He's been training a lot out here with some people that I know, and yeah, I mean they're still there. I mean they're still elite level. I mean,
if
and
you'd
it's
been
only getting harder.
32 this fit, if you'd been this fit 32 10 years ago, I'd say yes, you could go out and compete today and you'd be competitive.
For sure.
But man, that like CrossFit continues to level people up. I will be really interested to see what 10 years from now, what that 50-year-old division looks like.
It's gonna be impressive because yeah, like if you take my numbers today and drop me 10 years ago in CrossFit, like I'm probably a games level athlete.
Yeah.
I haven't checked the stats on that, but like I'm like really excellent at CrossFit. And now it's like I didn't even make it out of the open, and it's just like it's crazy. It's crazy. Every year what the sport is capable of continues to impress even people who do it.
Yeah, people are leveling up. You gotta start hitting that endure ball, buddy.
Yeah, you're right. I should do drugs.
Totally worth the cancer risk. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
That's sarcasm.
Obviously, we're being sarcastic, everyone.
Yes.
Don't.
This is not medical advice. If anyone takes medical advice from me, you're on your own, man. All right, dude. Well, this has been fun. I'm excited to see you. This is gonna be a good week.
I'm excited too. I have to give a pitch. If you aren't able to make the games and you can't come to the WOD Prep party, I have another thing for you. That is the WOD Prep Pick'em. So basically, it's like we're throwing a party inside of WOD Prep for people who can't make the games, and we're running like this crazy deal where you can basically save a ton of money. It's at least 50% off the courses that you get, and the URL is wodprep.com/games-special-picks. And it is on the screen if you're watching on all the various streaming platforms. Go there, and then you can get a huge discount on basically your choice of the skill program. So if the reason you can't make it to the games is because you just can't string together more than 20 double unders, you can grab double unders unleashed. Or in John's case, the only reason he can't make it to the games is because he can't handstand walk more than 50 meters. He needs that 75th meter. We have a handstand walk course. But But in all seriousness, if anybody wants to get a great deal on some amazing WOD prep courses, go grab them there. It's a great sale. I think we're going to run it through the WOD prep party. So the WOD prep party is on Friday night. And once that party starts, we're stopping the sale. I think that's what we're going to do.
I wish I could handstand walk 1 meter, Ben.
Okay, I was a little generous. You're right.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
We'll work on it.
All right, Ben, this has been fun. I'm excited to see you and your team. And for everyone listening, we really appreciate you guys joining. This is always fun for us, but we love hearing from you guys. So if you're at the games, say hi. If you're not at the games, shoot us a DM. We'd love talking to you, and continue to give us ideas for the show. And with that, we will chat with you guys soon.